It is estimated most human beings only use 10% of their brain's capacity. Imagine if we could access 100%. Interesting things begin to happen.
Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, and we're back with another installment of From the Cinema with Mr. Beveridge. October is finally here, and that means a whole slew of movies are going to be coming your way. Now let's start this month off right now, shall we? My movie request that I've received this time is for Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Legendary news anchor Ron Burgundy is the cup of tea of San Diego, and he and his team consisting of Brian Fantana, Champ Kine, and Brick Tamlin have it good running the news at their local news station. Things start to change, however, as Veronica Corningstone enters the scene and threatens to steal Ron's thunder. Thus, a fierce rivalry begins to brew to see who indeed is going to be the voice of San Diego. Now, what's to be said about this movie? I love Anchorman. And you know what else I love? I love Desk. I love Tie. I love Camera. I love Lamp. I love Lamp. But mostly I love Anchorman. And it's one of those movies where even after its release in 2003, I still find myself laughing at it and quoting the amount of hilarious dialogue. Now, Anchorman is more or less a satire of how news production works, specifically in the 70s. And it manages to, make fun at the styles, the attitudes, and other stereotypes that the 70s had to offer. And most of it's pretty funny. And the movie even throws some very oddball stuff in it, such as a drug-induced Pleasure Town scene, and even an over-the-top fight with a rival news team. And the comedy is all over the place, but it makes you laugh. Hard. Of course, the heart and soul is Will Ferrell as the man himself, and I love his delivery, his character, and his dialogue. Plus, he is a man who enjoys the finer things in life, such as scotch, his dog Baxter, and a most epic stash. Now, of course, you can't have a news team with just an anchorman. You need a whole crew. And boy, does Ron got himself a unique crew. And you got comedy greats such as David Kitchener, Paul Rudd, and Steve Carell, whose characters are just as fun and odd as Ferrell himself. Now, I, of course, got to give my love to Steve Carell as Brick. The guy is dumber than paint, but damn it, he's got a good heart. And can you really ask for more? Anchorman, I love it, and so do you. And for those of you who say otherwise, I don't believe you. Now we're going to look at one of the more strange films known as Lucy. A young woman living abroad in Taiwan finds herself in an international smuggling ring in which she has been designated to be a drug mule for a new synthetic drug that apparently has mind-altering capabilities. Some of this drug manages to leak into her system, however, and she finds herself being able to access more of her brain, giving her godlike powers as a result. This movie, it's, I don't get it. I mean, I really don't get it. But I will try my best to analyze this movie. The key word being try. I guess I'll try and start with the good stuff first. Scarlett Johansson manages to pull her own as the namesake Lucy. She manages to deliver throughout the movie, and she does have some good characterization within this strange flick. And Morgan Freeman plays a neuroscientist looking into the brain's potential, and he delivers a promising performance as well. Then again, however, it's Morgan Freeman. I love the guy. I want him to do the audiobooks to my memoirs, and I'm sure you would want to as well. Now, another thing that Lucy has going for is its visuals. There's a lot of beautiful imagery in the movie, and some of its sequences are quite dazzling. It manages to complement the movie nicely in some instances, but then there are other sequences that just seem forced in. It's as if someone's editing project for film school got mixed in with the movie, and the filmmakers were just too lazy to take it out. At least it makes the movie pleasing to watch. Now, the action sequences are also quite creative. It's very acrobatic in some instances, and even very tense. Though perhaps this sort of action would have been better suited for a different movie. Okay, now to the stuff you want me to talk about. Where do I start? Okay, first we get a drug smuggling movie. Then we get a pseudoscience sci-fi thriller. And then we get a movie that tries to explain to us the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. I didn't get it. I mean, one, the premise of accessing more of your brain to do more stuff, isn't that original? Limitless. Excuse me. Two, the idea of being able to do more with more brain access doesn't seem scientifically feasible. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. If there's any neuroscience geeks out there, perhaps you could enlighten me. Now, as the movie goes on, it only seems to raise more questions than it does providing answers. It seems too focused on subliminal imagery and deep meanings that fail to be presented in a logical way. Also, things started to get really strange around the ending. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but I will say that I think the ending tried to go for something along the lines of a Stanley Kubrick movie. I think, maybe? I honestly have no idea. Perhaps I should watch it again and see if I missed something. And honestly, it would probably be better for you to see this movie for yourself and draw up your own conclusions. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find some secret meaning that I failed to pick up on. The film is pretty to look at, yes, and it does have a strong cast lineup. But overall, I'm not sure this movie was made for me. It's a little too out there for my taste. Follow me on Twitter at Beveridge, and don't forget to send in your film requests for me to review. Also, don't forget to follow the Mason Cable Network for all of their updates as well. Until then, you stay classy, George Mason.
I have access to 28% of my cerebral capacity.
I can feel every living thing.
Since when did you start writing Chinese?
Since an hour ago.
What happens when she reaches 100%?
I have no idea.